Good morning, everyone. I'm David Adams from the Board of Trustees of the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation. Welcoming all of you. Just with a few announcements before we start our service. I noticed a lot of packages on the table in the back there, which is great. If you're participating, or those of us who are participating, in the Adopt a Family program, the wrapped gifts should be dropped off today if you haven't done that already. If you are planning a gift and you don't have it with you now, you can drop it off tomorrow with Brenda in the office. She'll be in from 8 until 2, or you can speak with Robert after the service. Our restructuring task force will be hosting a series of focus group meetings, and those are scheduled for each of the Sundays in January after the service, to share feedback to the task force, talk about their progress and their proposals. Each Sunday's focus group will focus on one of the teams that are being proposed. I can't remember what they all are, but you can look at the Thursday announcements and it will tell you. There's no need to RSVP, just show up. And as I say, see the Thursday announcements for details. We're still collecting new and slightly used blankets. The box is in the foyer back there. It says box of blankets on it. And those will go to people who are unhoused and in need. So we have raised over $23,000 on our Spirit Level grant. We're really close. So, this is the season to be giving, and I see our Reverend Maggie has an envelope. So the envelopes, of course, go in the little model church here. Just a couple other things. A heads up on our Christmas here at MVUUC. So it's been our tradition for many years, as most of you know, to hold a Christmas Eve service on the 24th, and we'll be doing that again this year. The Christmas Eve service will begin at 5 p.m. I think in the past we've started them slightly later, but it'll be dark by then, so it'll feel like Christmas Eve. Please note, though, that Christmas Eve this year falls on a Sunday. So there will be no morning service that day. The evening service will take its place. So there'll be one service on the 24th, and it will be at 5 o'clock. Okay? Lastly, due to the holidays, the board has shifted around its meeting time for this month. So if you're interested in having a good time with the members of the board, we're going to meet on Tuesday the 12th at 6:30 over Zoom. So let me know if you're interested in that. And so now we will begin our service with Reverend Maggie Inoki. Oh, actually, we're not going to begin with Reverend Maggie. We're going to begin with our Director of Religious Exploration, Robert Tidwell.
Good morning, everybody. We sound this bowl 3 times. Once for those who came before, including the Tongva people and the traditions that they held, many of which have been lost due to colonization. Once for those of us here and now, whether they are members or visitors looking for a place to call home and the traditions that they grew up with. And once for those who will come. May the traditions that we practice today connect us with those who come after we have all gone. Okay, and now please rise as you're willing and able so we can sing our opening hymn. And it is number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Song, all that your ears to the
so much. Now, Letha, can you come and light our chalice while I read our chalice lighting words? The words today are by Tara Humphreys, and it's "This chalice is lit for you." Whether you are from the south, the east, the north, or the west, whether you were born into this faith, found it, or it found you, whether you feel at home or are still trying to find your place, whether you believe in God, are open to the mystery, or still have no idea, whether you are unemployed, underemployed, cobbling things together, overworking, or in school, whether you are holding anxiety, grief, confusion, anger, hope, restlessness, or deep peace, Unitarian Universalism has a place for you. It is right here. This chalice is lit for you. Thank you for lighting the chalice, Letha. Now, once again, everybody please rise as you're able while we sing our next hymn, and then remain standing after that as we're going to do our covenant after. So please rise. This is number 362, Rise Up Alone. And now if we could read this in unison. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. And now you may be seated, and if all the children present can come up, if they like to read, we're going to have them read. We're going to have them read the principles, which we do every Sunday. You guys know how to read them. Jaryus, can you get a mic for the kids? Or should I have them do it from the pulpit? Sorry, I should have had that right.
Here you go.
Sorry about that. Okay, so if you guys could each take turns reading our promises. They're on the back, yeah. So, come on, Riley. Here, I'll do the first one. The first one's the easiest one. Red, respect all people.
Orange, offer fair and kind treatment to all. Yellow, yearn to accept and learn about ourselves, others, and the mystery.
Green, grow by exploring what is true and right in life.
Blue, believe in ideas and act on them. Indigo, insist on a fair, peaceful, and free world for all.
Violet, value our home earth, which we share with all living things.
The sky, strive our spiritual wholenesses by choosing to have a community where our differences are valued and where we look inside ourselves and the groups we create for ways to be better.
Thank you guys so much. All right, thank you. We read those UU promises at the beginning of every class. The promises are the children's way of understanding our principles, and we associate each principle with a color of the rainbow. And so I appreciate the kids standing up and doing that. For our time for all ages today, I want to tell you why I chose this story. I normally don't do that. We normally just read the story, but this week I was trying to figure out what to do for the service, and I had a conversation with Lynn Scheibel, who's a member here, before choir practice. And she and I were talking about how important it is to, honor our uniqueness, our individual uniqueness as individuals and as a congregation. There's so much uniqueness here in this building. And so rather than reading a story about our principles or something like that, I decided to read a book by Lynn Scheibel called Welcome with Wonder. It's a children's story about celebrating the uniqueness of the individuals. So I'm going to read it now. It's written by Lynn and it's illustrated by Laura Graysilg. It's inspired by new life everywhere and the potential that each life holds to make the world a better place for all. One day you came to greet me and I welcomed you. I welcomed your face, for which I spend the rest of my life in wonder of. It is unique unto you and a combination of your mother and father, who were combinations of all those who preceded you. I welcomed your eyes, which would behold everything within their sight. From your view, you would have visual experiences which no one else would know, because only you can see from your perspective. I welcomed your ears, which would hear what was close to you. Oh, sure, others may stand beside you or in the same room as you, but your ears will be special. They will have a clarity which is uniquely yours. I welcomed your tiny nose, which will serve you well at happy times and in times of stress. Although this life offers uninvited scents such as smoke and unwanted discards, it also offers delicious and unending fragrances and aromas which will sit in your memory and stay with you for the rest of your life. You will remember family meals, the fresh trees of air of the outdoors, the smell of the ocean and the lakes, your mother and your father, and each member of your family, even special pets. There's endless possibilities. I welcomed your mouth, which you will learn will command attention. Most immediately, I will listen to your sounds, which will tell me that you are calling me when you are hungry or thirsty, wet or hot or cold or itchy or just plain lonely, and I will be there. Later, you will speak your mind. You will have the power to recognize those needs of others as I have recognized your needs, and you will use your words and powers to soothe others. I welcomed your toes. Is there anything as tiny attached to your feet, which are attached to your legs? You will turn to balance, and there your mobile journey will begin. Oh, the places you will go. I welcome your fingers. You don't know that they are there yet, but the first day you find them, you will amaze yourself at what they can accomplish attached to your hands. Forever continue to amaze yourself at what you can grasp and contour. You may perform miracles with those fingers and hands. I welcomed your arms, which you will offer to hug as well as carry. They may perform the benefit of yourself and others. They will perform for the benefit of yourself and for others, you will see. I welcome the wonder of all of which lies within you, the parts which work together to make you function. The world within your body is an equal miracle to all of which is visible to your naked eyes. Behind your eyes will be the master control of your brain and your mind. I pray you will use your powers to create good for yourself and for the world. If ever one or many of all the phenomenal individual segments should not function as intended, your amazing self will unite and work in harmony to make you even more remarkable. What does work will flourish and What does work will flourish and make you startling to all those who see your strength. Ah, yes, you are like no other, and I have been blessed to be one of the first to watch you grow from pristine to exceptional. There is no experience quite like this, and I love you. So thank you, Lynn, for your story and for the inspiration for this service. And the story is called Welcome with Wonder. And now Reverend Maggie Yunoki will introduce us to our Share the Plate recipient.
No, that's fine. It's your pulpit today. I'm just budging in a little bit. Before I talk about our Share the Plate for December, excuse me, we didn't have joys and concerns in the order of service for today, but the basket held 3 very magical ones, so I'm going to share those with you first. We have a mix, and that's usually what we find every Sunday, right, is that we have a mix of things that weigh us down and things that lift us up. So that's what we have here today. Cartwheels for the Mulroy Gallagher household. Laura and Sean have a great joy. Next Saturday, their daughter Margaret is getting married in New Orleans. So, yay. Blessings on that day. I hope everything is perfect, and we'll miss all of you guys that are going to the wedding while you're gone. Now, talk about a mix of joy and sorrow. Our beloved Jack Widener is, he's expressing it as sorrow, so that's good. That's what I feel. Yeah. He says, my sorrow is that this is my last Sunday at Monte Vista. Yeah, until September. But he's going home for winter break. He leaves this Friday. And then in the spring, he's going off to Campus Study Away program in Tucson. So he says, please let me know of any UU congregations in Tucson. I already said, yes, look them up. And he says, well, I'll miss you all. Well, we will definitely miss you. So blessings on your journey, and we're excited for you, for all that you're going to experience. So thanks. So we have a lot to hold. We have a lot to hold. And there are a lot of both joys and concerns that are being held in our hearts and within our nervous systems. Right? I think of Jeannie and her daughter's brain surgery that's coming up on the 20th. But they're all just as an example of the kinds of things that we're walking with as we go through our days. So we hold each other tenderly and also joyfully. So this morning, similar to Robert finding this perfect story, and it just turns out it was written by one of our own. I too picked up my LA Times this morning. Did anyone else notice this cover story about dogs? It says, they set out to save dogs, but instead more are being killed. It's all about a shelter in Palmdale, but if you look at that dog, just his eyes are incredibly emotive. So for December, our board has approved the request of the JCC, the Justice Team, to have our undesignated offerings. So anything that isn't for your pledge or for the roof grant or anything that's specific, anything outside of that will be split 50-50 with the congregational needs and also this ministry, Cain's Cupboard. So as we continue to grow as a caring community, we celebrate our shared compassion for our friends, relatives, neighbors, and animals that are in need of good care in these tender times. Our congregation has chosen to create an opportunity to live out our generous care as we gather our undesignated offerings and split them 50-50 with a local charity that was pre-selected by Justice and approved by the board. And for the month of December, the undesignated offerings that we gather will be shared with Cain's Cupboard. Let me share a bit about this animal ministry with you. One of our own members, Catherine Marie Mayfield, and in unison or in cahoots maybe with Cynthia Humes as well, who's a huge supporter of this, has been heavily involved in animal advocacy for decades. They recognized that local families were struggling financially to keep the animals that they loved happy and fed, and pet care was becoming a burden for many families in the community. So in desperate financial situations, a growing number of humans were surrendering their animals to local shelters, or worse. They would just dump them on the freeways, or in remote areas because they could no longer afford to feed them or care for them. Through this pet advocacy work, a privately funded program called Animal Upstander, or AU, grew and collaborated with local veterinarians, animal rescue groups, and private individuals to assist humans with their animals that are in need. AU connected families with low-cost animal wellness checkups, vaccinations, as well as spay and neuter assistance. Additionally, Animal Upstander provided families with animal food, beds, toys, leads, collars, and a variety of other resources to help keep their animals safe and healthy. And it was in August of 2021 when AU received a donation of a few $100s from a private donor in honor of a hospice dog that had passed away from cancer, and his name was Kane. The gesture struck at the heart of what Animal Upstander program was designed to accomplish on so many levels, primarily bringing together a community of people who can both give and receive to improve the quality of life for the innocent animals that we share our lives with. Catherine Marie sought to use this donation to seed the ministry here at Monte Vista because the ethic of community, giving, caring, and serving runs strong in this congregation. A proposal to start an animal food and resource bank at Monte Vista using the seed money from Animal Upstander was given to stock and maintain Kane's Cupboard. It was submitted to the Board of Trustees. In that proposal, it stated that Kane's Cupboard would provide needy members of our immediate community and beyond the opportunity to gain access to supplies and resources to help them care for their pets. The goal would be to help families get through tough times and ensure that their animals were provided for so that they could stay intact as a family. To date, Kane's Cupboard has helped numerous family pets and community animals directly with food and supplies and provided funding for veterinary services for individuals and through rescue organizations that provide discounted rates for veterinary services. Some of those that we've helped are Jim, Pat, Alex, and Janet, who thank all of us here for contributing to the well-being of their animals. For Viking, who had a surgery that we sponsored in honor of Debbie Skirdo's sister Mary. For King, who was a car accident survivor. For Marshmallow, who was severely neglected. For an unnamed dog who was abandoned at a local vet hospital who desperately needed tumor removal surgery. For Sparky, whose unhoused human had to go into the hospital for 2 weeks, and Sparky needed a soft place to lay his head for boarding with a friend of the human. And for Maximilian, who was left at a, well, this says dumped. I have trouble saying that. Who was dumped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere off the freeway and had been wandering the area for months. We celebrate that we made a difference for these animals, and there are so many others that continue to need our help. Please know that our contributions to Kane's Cupboard is directly reaching animals in need. There are no administrative costs for Kane's Cupboard outside of the bookkeeping records that Tracy keeps on our donations. And 100% of all financial contributions go to helping the animal in need. So in loving gratitude, we thank the Justice Committee for their thoughtfulness in selecting Kane's Cupboard as the December Share the Plate recipient. And of all the offerings that will be taken up in December that are not designated to fulfill pledges or other fund drives will be shared 50-50 with Kane's Cupboard. So now, while we enjoy the beautiful offertory, I invite those of us here in the sanctuary to please come forward with your generous offerings. And it is with very deep gratitude for the gifts of time, talent, and treasure offered by this beautiful community that our offering will now be given and received.
And now please rise again as you're able so we can sing Spirit of Life, first in English and then in Spanish. as is our tradition. The words will be on the screen and can be found in the back of your hymnal. Thank you. And now I have a reading called You Are the Holiday Miracle, and it is by Gwen Matthews. As December opens up before us, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn toward our holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning. We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we are invited to explore duality, cycles, and the seasons, and to witness the Holly King overcome the Oak King. Yule reminds us that we all partake in the miracle of renewal. Hanukkah, the festival of lights, commemorates a time of miracles when the faith of the Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of the menorah burning for 8 days. Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us to revisit the miracle of birth and the desire to find saviors to heal the scars of humanity. Here in our church, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, as the persistence and dedication to a faith, as the creation of each new life. We see the love you give others, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit you entrust in this community. You are the holiday miracle. This community is one of miracle makers. So now, as we gather here in fellowship, it's essential for us to reflect on the rich tapestry that forms the basis of our shared identity. You may have noticed I've snuck in a lot of talk about traditions today, and you may have been coming here expecting to hear about Chalaka, which is a beloved UU tradition that started in 2005, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I wanted to talk about our cultural identity and what that means. A cultural identity is a mosaic of beliefs and practices and values that have been passed down through generations, weaving a narrative that connects us to our roots. It's our source of strength and unity and a guiding light in our journey together. Traditions in particular play a pivotal role in this narrative. They are the threads that bind us to our collective past, providing a sense of continuity, stability, and shared purpose. Whether it's the rituals we observe, the stories we tell, or the celebrations that we hold dear, traditions are the compass that guides us through the ever-changing landscape of life. As we delve into this exploration of cultural identity and tradition, let us approach the conversation with open hearts and minds, recognizing the beauty in our diversity and the strength that comes from understanding and respecting one another's unique backgrounds. So cultural identity is like the recipe that makes up each group of people unique and different from one another. It's the collection of things that make us who we are, like our favorite words, the things that we do, what we believe in, and the special celebrations that we have. Traditions serve as enchanting threads that intricately connect us to the roots of our families, weaving a tapestry that tells the story of our collective history and instills a deep sense of pride in who we are. So it's like, for the kids, it's like having imagine having a secret handshake or a special dance that's exclusive to your family. These are the cherished traditions that make us feel like members of an exclusive and incredibly special club, fostering a warm sense of belonging and togetherness. These traditions are more than just stories, though. They are the timeless tales that, when passed down to younger generations, become the coolest adventures, keeping our shared narrative alive and vibrant. More of our traditions serve as a roadmap, guiding us in how we treat one another and the world, creating a treasure map that leads us to our shared values of kindness, respect, and love. And when embraced collectively, these traditions transform our community into a welcoming clubhouse where everyone feels safe, happy, and understood. So these traditions are not just old-fashioned things that we do. They are the superpowers that make us and our families and communities strong, loving, and connected. They're like a heartbeat that keeps our body alive and happy. So Chalaka was first celebrated in 2005 and is a relatively recent addition to the holiday calendar. It typically lasts for 7 days, starting on the first Monday in December, and each day is associated with one of the Unitarian Universalist principles. People would light a candle and focus on each principle over the course of a week. Chalaka emerged out of a well-intentioned desire to have a new winter holiday organized around Unitarian Universalist principles. In the years that followed, however, UUs began voicing discomfort that this holiday felt like a harmful appropriation of holidays like Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. The Unitarian Universalist Association has asked that congregations refrain from doing any Chalaka programming in response to these concerns. And this announcement came out while we were planning a Chalaka service. So, with so little time to prepare and develop any new traditions and specific holiday message, I decided to use this time to highlight that issue. I think it's incredibly important for Unitarian Universalists to have our own unique celebrations and traditions. These will help us establish our UU identity, encourage our children and youth to grow into people who hold our principles close. This can be challenging, though, given that the principles are not static. They can and have and will again someday change. When we celebrate our community's authenticity, we acknowledge and cherish the diversity within our midst. Each individual contributes such a unique shade of the vibrant palette of our collective identity. This authenticity invites us to be true to ourselves and to each other, fostering an environment where everyone feels seen and heard and valued. It's a celebration of these quirks and stories and the shared experiences that make our community a mosaic of our individual journeys. So furthermore, embracing the authenticity that strengthens the bonds that tie us together, we can express ourselves genuinely when we create an atmosphere of trust and openness. This in turn leads to a deeper connection and a sense of belonging. This will help us build bridges between generations, cultures, and backgrounds, and help us deepen our understanding that just transcends these differences. So it's this reflection of our growth and our resilience and our collective aspirations. When we honor ourselves and celebrate the unique qualities of our community, we have to cultivate a space where innovation, creativity, and celebration thrive. It's in this moment that we find the strength to face these challenges, the inspiration to dream, and the joy of shared accomplishments. So in essence, it's important for us not just being true to who we are as individuals, it's about embracing the richness that each person brings to our community. The authenticity of our community is a treasure, and it is that treasure that makes our shared journey so special. So let us continue to foster an environment where authenticity is not only valued but celebrated, for it is this celebration that we discover the true magic that makes our community uniquely extraordinary. So with all this in mind, I ask that you reflect on what is truly important about our traditions that we hold and why we practice them. If you have a chalice at home, I encourage you to light it, not just for the first week of December, but often, and include a time of reflection of our values and our principles. And let us find ways to celebrate our unique experience as a religion and community. We are encouraged, in a community where we are encouraged to be our unique selves. We know that our community is better because of the rich complexity and diverse experiences we each bring, and our traditions should reflect that uniqueness. The essence of this reflection lies in understanding the pivotal role of cultural identity and the significance of traditions in shaping our community's collective narrative. This calls for a genuine understanding of these traditions that we incorporate and respecting their cultural contexts. The path forward involves a commitment to creating unique and inclusive traditions rooted in our identity as a community. By fostering creative collaboration, we aim to evolve traditions that not only celebrate our shared values, but also honor the diverse backgrounds within our congregations, ensuring the tapestry of celebrations that unite us all. But that's a lot easier said than done. As you'll notice, our closing hymn today is not a unique UU hymn, but rather a song whose exact origins are unknown. This Little Light of Mine is an African-American spiritual. It was first found in print in the 1920s and was later popularized during the Civil Rights Movement. So we value it for its connection to an important movement in American history, and I chose it today because it reflects what I hope for all of you. As we embark on this journey of self-reflection and community growth, I'm filled with great optimism about our congregation's capacity to evolve and craft traditions that are both deeply meaningful and profoundly respectful. Our collective strength lies in the diverse talents, experiences, and perspectives that each member brings to our community, like the book. With open hearts and a commitment to understanding, I believe we have the power to shape traditions that not only resonate with our shared values, but also authentically reflect the unique tapestry of who we are. Thank you so much. And with that, I would like to invite Maximo Quested up to come to the pulpit to read our chalice extinguishing words while I put out our chalice. Start with by Amy and then
Okay.
and
By Amy Zucker Morgenstern. When we take fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice, but we take its light and warmth with us, multiplying their power by all of our lives and sharing it with the world.
And now, please rise so we can sing our sending song. This Little Light of Mine is number 118 in the hymnal. And now in your order of service, you'll find our benediction, which I ask that we can read in unison. Oh, and it's on the screen. Thank you, Jaryus. May we remember to be Unitarian Universalists every day and every way, even when we're not together. And thank you, and we'll listen to Lily's wonderful music as our postlude, and then please join us on the patio for coffee and conversation, and say hi to our people on Zoom.